Gosh, sorry, Kristen. Kristen, tell me your last name again.
Cleanser.
Cleanser. Okay, that's right. I'm sorry. Kristen just got married, so it's not totally my fault.
No, it's not at all.
And Kristen is the director of the nutrition services at Lutheran Social Services, and she's going to explain a little bit about their program. They cover, is it 13 counties? No, 12 counties. Yeah, 12 counties in our northern part of our region. And so when Kristen gets done, then we'll open it up for questions so that anyone can ask any questions. So go ahead, Kristen.
Yeah, hello everyone. As Judy said, my name is Kristen Cleanser. As Judy said, completely. My name has changed in the last year, so it does take some getting used to, even for myself to say it. I am the senior director for LSS Meals. I have been with the organization for 6 years. And as Judy said, we are the nutrition provider for 12 counties up in regions 1 and 2. So Kitson County, Roseau County, Marshall County, Polk County,
Hey, Amy,
Pennington County.
you just want to say something so I can see if I can hear you?
So Cynthia, Kristen is talking and you still can't hear her?
All right, I still can't hear you. Okay.
Okay. So Pennington County, Red Lake County, Norman County, and yes, I'm reading from a list, sorry. Lake of the Woods County, Beltrami, Clearwater, Monoman, and Hubbard County. So in those counties, we have been providing congregate dining at several locations, as well as home delivered meals in those communities and in those counties. We have several kitchens up in these communities, up in these counties that are making the meals right within the communities. And then those kitchens are typically sending meals out to some other surrounding communities as well. In some areas, we have what we call a diners club, where people can purchase tickets either from a bank in their community or a grocery store, and they can use those tickets to purchase meals at a local restaurant. So if you have somebody that's over 60 in need of meals, what they would do is they would contact our Moorhead office, and Judy's gonna put the 1-800 number in the chat. That's the best way to get a hold of figuring out what's available in somebody's community. So whether it's a diners club, whether they're looking for home delivered meals, if they call that 1-800 number, they're going to get one of our intake specialists who will talk with them and get them to complete our federal NAPAS form. They'll have a conversation with them, determine also if there's any other potential needs for a client or a diner. We are a SNAP outreach recipient as well. So if somebody indicates that they're needing additional assistance besides meals, we can do application assistance for SNAP as well and walk them through that application process. But what they would do is they'd get them the NAPAS form filled out, they'd get them connected and with the community where they're living and the services, whether they're looking for congregate dining, home delivered dining, whatever type of meal service they're looking for within their community. One of the other things that we have available, not to Title III clients, but more so to waivered clients, is we have a lot of waivered clients in very remote areas where maybe it's a ways to get to a dining site, or it's a ways out of town that we don't have drivers. We can ship meals for Caddy and AC and EW clients as well. We can ship them meals. So they'll have conversations with diners to really figure out, or potential diners, figure out really what meal service they're looking for. In the last couple of years since COVID, we've also started to do what are called meal distribution events. So we'll go into some communities where maybe we don't have a congregate site, and we'll partner with either a food shelf or a NAPS distribution program. And we will hand out prepared frozen meals to individuals. So they still have to complete the NAPS form. And they would get 10 to 20 meals, frozen meals. And that's really dependent on how much ability they have to store those meals. And so we do advertise like when those are and what communities those are located in. And we do find that people can come in and easily pick up meals. Usually we have it set up as a drive-through, very similar to the NAPS, or how the food shelf is running a distribution, and they can just quickly fill out the NAPS form, and then we can give them some bundled, what we call bundled meals. So really trying to figure out ways to meet the needs of people within our communities. The distributions really kind of grew out of COVID, and we found that people really enjoy and continue on those meals. It has brought a lot of new diners into our program, and what we've really tried to do is focus on getting them connected either with longer term home delivered meals or our congregate programs. We really are hoping to see our congregate programs grow. But as other things after COVID, it's taken longer than we've hoped for. But still a lot of communities, Bemidji, Erskine, we have, very strong congregate programs and great turnouts. And other communities we've struggled, and there may be 2 or 3 people attending congregate. We really want to grow those numbers. So that social aspect of congregate dining is really, really important, and getting people to come back out and be social in our congregate environments is a big push for us lately. Judy, is there anything that I forgot or anything else that you wanted me to talk about?
So if someone needs to, so if there is a diners club, where typically do you have, I know there's a lot of banks that carry the tickets in the towns?
Yeah, banks, grocery stores, and when they call that 1-800 number and they talk to an intake specialist, they'll be able to tell them exactly where the tickets are sold within their communities. And they can also purchase those tickets technically from our intake staff, but it's easiest to go right to the bank in the community. And like I said, 90% of those diners clubs have tickets sold at the local bank.
Okay.
I think one still has them at a grocery store in town.
Okay, and what is the suggested donation now, Kristen?
Yeah, so the suggested donation for our meals is $5. So individuals can, and when they're going through the intake process, they let all individuals know that it is a suggested donation. There is no minimum or maximum that they can contribute, but we do have the suggested contribution of $5.
And then what is it if they want to pay full price?
Yeah, if they want to pay full price for the meal, I believe it's $8.75 right now.
Okay.
For the full price of a meal.
Okay.
And for individuals, if they want to make a contribution at a congregate location, there is a donation box right there. If they'd like to wait till the end of the month, we do send out contribution statements, just letting them know how many meals they've received, and what a suggested contribution would be. It says clearly on it, it's not a bill. There is no requirement for individuals to pay for meals. And like I said, it is a suggested contribution.
And then to qualify for the Older American Act, program through the nutrition program, clients need to be 60 plus is really the only requirement that's needed. Again, if we have people who, it's nice when they call that intake number with LSS that they actually can talk to people, and if their income's correct, they can have, they might be qualified for some other services. That's great too, because they do offer. So like Kristen mentioned, they can ship some of those out as well. But for Older American Act dollar, it is age 60 plus. And again, it's a $5 suggested donation. No one's turned away. If they get their suggested payment letter from LSS and they decide that they can send some money in, wonderful. It helps keep the program going. Although if they cannot, that is also, there's no judgment. And the next month, when they get their letter for the number of meals, it is not, the meals don't carry over month to month. So so people don't feel pressured.
And those contributions are not tracked by individuals. So
Right.
if Mary Smith sends in a contribution, it doesn't go in our system that Mary Smith contributed to her meals. Those contributions are contributed to the site that Mary ate at, not Mary's as an individual.
Right. And you accept SNAP and EBT, correct?
We do. We
Okay.
do.
Okay. I'm trying to think, at this time, does anyone else have any questions that they've wondered or they've received maybe from some clients? Feel free just to unmute yourself and ask.
Oh, the other thing I was gonna say, Judy, I forgot, sorry, is that we have 3 registered dietitians on staff that do our menu development and menu creation. So each one of our menu items are 1/3 of the daily nutrition allowances. Now, some people love that. It is a healthy meal. I think that the meals are all great. Some people think that the portions are too small. Some people think that the portions are too big. But it is 1/3 of the daily allowances. So that does dictate the number of ounces of meat, the number of ounces of protein and carbohydrates and starch. And we do have low sodium diets. We do have diabetic friendly diets. We are hoping to launch a Hispanic Latino menu in the coming months as well. And the nice thing about having 3 registered dietitians on staff is that they do a great job of taking suggestions. So if there's something on the menu that people really don't like, or it doesn't go over very well, they'll work to take that off the menu. If there's things that people would really like to see on the menu more, they try and incorporate that into the next menu. And so it's a really nice thing. If diners have suggestions, our dietitians take those suggestions very seriously.
There's a question, Kristen. So if someone has SNAP or EBT, how do they where do they note that so that your staff would know that?
Yep, in the contribution letter, it tells them how to call and to use that EBT and SNAP payment, and then they'll just run it through our administrative office.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Well, and something too is that to keep in mind, there are some locations that offer a choice of meals depending on where you're going, and sometimes they will offer breakfast as well. And so I know that some of your diners clubs that that's nice when they can offer a special too.
And we also do really try and accommodate individuals' preferences. I know that at one site of one individual up in Erskine, I've heard the story many times, does not like onions. So anything with onions on it, they will not eat that day. And so what we've done is we've provided them with a frozen meal option. It's a home delivered client. That's a different menu item from a different day. So they say, yes, I really like this. And so we'll send them a frozen option that day. So at least they can reheat it and have a meal that day that doesn't have the onions. It may not be the hot option that day, but it still meets their preferences.
Okay. If someone has a concern, or they have a comment about a concern over a meal or a site or a diners club, of course you can always reach out to me at Dancing Sky. But Kristen, is there should they call the 800 number for that?
They can call the 1-800 number. My personal cell phone number is listed, and I give that out on a regular basis. Many sites just direct them to call me directly. A lot of times people at the sites want that feedback. So I do encourage people, if they have a complaint, a common complaint we have is that somebody thinks that something is too salty, or they think it's not salty enough, or some of those types of things. And just having a conversation at times with the cook is really helpful, because the cook can then explain to them, we are limited by the amount of sodium that we can put in that. You can always add more salt once you get the meal home. But a lot of those conversations, it's helpful for the cook to understand. And sometimes, especially if it's a compliment, those make our cook's day.
Mhm. Definitely, yes. Does anyone have any other questions?
Hi, Kristen. This is Val from the Dancing Sky. I'm just wondering the
Yeah.
status on the Roseau facility. The meal-
Well, yeah, good question. So we had a cook hired and we're very excited to get that going. Now, part of it is equipment. So part of the status is we're waiting on the equipment, which equipment right now for all kitchens is taking much longer than it ever has before. So we're waiting on an estimated delivery date for the equipment. But in that time, we had hired a cook to get started, and there was definitely some meals that they could prepare without the equipment we were waiting on. And she just notified us that she took another position as she had accepted. So now we're back to the drawing board and trying to find a cook. I just found that out yesterday. So hopefully we're able to find somebody quickly again that's willing to do that work.
Right. Well, good luck. For
Thank
the
you.
War Road site, I was up there, and I know the Roseau site has quite a few people that utilize their community center, but for War Road, they have a hard time getting that congregate meals back again. So
Mhm.
what are your thoughts on getting them back, or how are you looking at trying to get them back?
You know, it really has been a matter of, trying to work with the location that we're located in. It's much easier to get people back when we're working at a senior center or a community center that is wanting to get people back into those locations. So, my example the best example I can give are Erskine and Bemidji, where they have music going on during the times of congregate dining. They have, an exercise class right before. Those types of things, those activities. We have been working with our site coordinators on some activity books. How do you celebrate? We have it broken down by month of different things that you can celebrate to try and get people to come in and enjoy. So it's trivia month. So we're going to do trivia at the congregate site to celebrate trivia month. We've created a manual for all of our site coordinators to do that. Now, I'm going to be the first one to say that's 100% dependent on the site coordinator that I have too.
Right.
Which sometimes, it seems like it's my number one topic of conversation is how difficult staffing is right now, which I'm sure everybody on this call is experiencing the exact same thing. And so, making sure that we have the right people in the right positions. And unfortunately, that isn't always easy. But making sure that one, they have the tools, and hopefully then they have, the desire to do those things. I know it's extra, I know it's above, I know it's beyond. But when I'm doing my site coordinators training, when I'm meeting with my staff, that is what they're telling me. They want to see people back in the congregate dining centers. They've missed them. They want to be there. Now, unfortunately, some in small communities, the ones that came to congregate before, have either unfortunately passed away or moved away, and COVID caused, a disruption in the people that were coming before. So it is just making it aware to new people that congregate is available and it's fun, and it's a great place to come to. But it is a challenge, and it's a challenge whether I'm talking Laverne, Minnesota, or I'm talking Lake of the Woods.
Right. Well, thank you. Thanks for everything you do. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any other questions? I'm trying to think. I think you've covered most of it, but again, if someone is interested, they can, and if they can't call the 800 number, they can also call Senior Linkage Line, because I do share the list of sites that LSS carries with the Senior Linkage Line every year. So that's also another option. If someone's comfortable and familiar with that, they can also call there and get the number. Sorry, someone let a dog in and I have a dog over my shoulder. Sorry. And so, yeah, so you can call the senior linkage line as well. Amy, Heather, did you guys have anything else that you wanted to add or any questions? Steph, Connie?
The only thing I wanted to add is that LSS, we contract at Dancing Sky for the nutrition program, kind of in our more northern area of our 21 counties. But I also wanted to mention that in our more southern area, we contract with NSI, our Nutrition Services Incorporated. So I did drop the flyer for that webinar because that one is coming up on Tuesday, April 19th, 10:30 to 11:30. And again, it's a virtual event. And you just click on the register button to get registered for that one. And then I have.
I'm
Oh, go
sorry,
ahead.
there was a question about it being recorded. Yes, this is being recorded and it will be available on our website. And Connie, it's under resources, is that right? Or impact?
I believe it's under impact.
I'm sorry, what, Connie?
It'll be right on the front page at first, but I have to remember where Amber.
Okay. So once we get it and Connie gets able to get it on, it will be available on our website under impact, where you can access any of our other webinars that we've done as well. So if there's something else that you missed that you wanted to see, please feel free to do that. All righty. Well, I don't want to keep anyone. I know everyone is busy and has lots of things to do. So thank you so much, Kristen, for giving the information and for presenting today. I appreciate it. Safe travels since I know you're on the road and hopefully we'll see.
Yeah, I
you.
apologize. I apologize for not being able to be on camera, but I am on the road and I'm making my way up to see Judy tomorrow. So
I'm hoping that I'm hoping we can make it. That's for sure. So thank you, everyone. And please feel free to reach out to me if you have any other questions that you think of at after we disconnect here. I'll put my email address in the chat. So if anybody, if you think of something that you forgot to ask or you want to know, please feel free to reach out to me.
yeah, and Judy, you can feel free to share my information too if people want to contact me directly.
Okay, awesome. I will do that. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day.